Living with autoimmune disease can literally drain your energy. Managing a homestead is physically demanding on a good day. Try doing it while you're navigating autoimmune flares and challenges. And the natural progression of aging. Which brings me to today's topic, homesteading with autoimmune, the raw truth. Hey y'all, it's Susan at the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. Welcome to Homestead Happenings podcast, where life is real and sometimes raw. The reality, a synovial cyst is pressing on a nerve bundle in my lower back, most likely caused by Ankylosing Spondylitis, a type of arthritis that attacks the spinal column. Think dinosaur bones and heel spurs. It causes leg weakness, polyneuropathy, and will worsen as I age. The cyst itself can't be drained or removed, so I live with pain most days. Think sciatica times 2. Often the pain shoots down both legs, making mobility harder to do. But with all arthritis, you need to move it or lose it, and you want to keep your mobility. The spine gets rigid because of the bone spurs that causes the bending over or humpback as the bones fuse together and the disease progresses. I have bone spurs all over my body. It's something you can't see with the naked eye. There are good days and bad days. Some days I barely have any pain at all and can accomplish a lot of chores. Other days I need to give in to the pain and sit reclined in my recliner to ease pressure on that part of my back. I also have herniated and bulging disc where the synovial cyst is located, compounding pressure on the nerve bundle. Plus, with arthritis, I don't tolerate cold very well. A recent fall aggravated my lower spine, and now I'm flaring. So what happens to my chore list on the homestead during a week-long flare? The yard birds can't wait for food or water delivery. The dogs need to go outside and be fed, and the cat demands his bowls to be full too. Not to mention a hungry hubby at the end of a long day. This can lead me to exhaustion and brain fog too. When flares like this happens, I need to rest my body so that it can catch up and begin the healing process. Inflammation is the enemy for most days. It affects my whole being, from swelling, water retention, brain fog. It weighs my system down. But choosing a healthy anti-inflammatory diet helps. And so does lymph drainage exercises like raising my arms over my head for a few minutes. Bending over and touching my toes while seated will open up my spine and relieve some of the pain. Learning to shift my weight from side to side while on my feet. When I'm in a good day, my thyroid responds and my diabetes is in check, and I can film like crazy. But for every hour of footage, there may be 3 days of rest. Watching me do morning chores might look like a routine, but when you are balancing hypothyroidism and diabetes, every trip to the coops is a calculated use of my energy. I have to time my chores based on what my body can give. For instance, lugging water buckets in the winter months really wears on the nerve bundle. So switching arms to carry helps distribute the pain to be more manageable. Watering buckets are my enemy. In the spring through fall, I can use the water hose to fill all the buckets and only lift a few in the coops and chicken tractors. Collecting eggs requires bending, which helps to stretch those vertebrae and relieve pain from that synovial cyst. Most of our garden is in raised beds, which help with the back pain of bending and weeding. Although, I admit, The weeds take over about halfway through the garden season, partly because of organic gardeners use weeds to help with good bugs and to keep pests away. And two, I just don't do well in the heat. Lupus tends to flare when I get overheated. The Mid-South is notorious for hot, humid weather, so now I can't do cold or hot weather well. So I choose to do outdoor chores in the early morning hours or as the sun sets, when it's cooler outside, taking breaks often as needed and staying hydrated. The household work suffers too. I deal with clutter, and I can't seem to get a handle on it. Most days I do well to just cook a meal, get the kitchen cleaned up, and do some laundry. Everything else gets pushed to the back burner for another day. I try not to sit for long periods of time and to be on my feet moving as much as possible. When you see me in my videos, it is me tackling everyday life with all I have within me. The spirit of get her done is real for me. I do push myself every day to do one more thing so I can cross it off my long, long list. Environmental factors, genetics, and food are all culprits. The toxic sprays used on crops, the toxic synthetics and GMO practices in food, and my genetic makeup made me susceptible to disease. Lifestyle changes can help me in some ways, but there are no cures for lupus, AS, diabetes, hypothyroidism, tachycardia, neuropathy, and so many other ailments. I'm not sharing for pity. I'm sharing because I am a fighter with vulnerabilities. Knowing how to handle each one has helped me tremendously to be able to do what I do each day. Lupus attacks every organ of my body, and an unspecified white mass on my frontal lobe affects my speech. Yet I choose to put myself out on YouTube because I feel the need to express myself, and it may help others with skills and knowledge. There's no glory in it for me. It's just who I am. We chose homesteading as a way of life. I can no longer work outside the home, so this has become my sanctuary, my rehab, my life. Aging adds another layer that means slowing down. But with each breath within me, I continue to fight every day that I have. The animals are therapy for me. Not only do they bring me pleasure, they give me something to do, and that helps me to stay mobile. Listen, I've had both Achilles tendons go out at once. Wore a boot forever, it seems. I did PT, and I still have to wear ankle braces when sleeping. I'm fighting to not have to have surgery. I may walk with a cane, but I'm upright and I'm walking. Faith in God gets me through the worst days. My focus on Him keeps me going. Whatever time I have left on this earth, I'm going to do the best to my ability. I am not sitting here with a woe is me attitude. I'm enjoying life and getting up every day, living and thriving right where I am. Each day with autoimmune diseases and disabilities have their own set of ailments. Some overlay. Knowing that I can deal with each one day at a time has really helped me. I think my attitude towards life really does help too. I try to have a positive outlook. Just know if you are dealing with any issues that I've mentioned here, that there is still hope for a good life. Our schedule is Monday and Friday for full-length videos. They come out at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. Wednesday podcast at 6 a.m. Shorts and community post. Third Monday, live at 11 a.m. We have 3 levels of membership. You choose the level and can cancel at any time. Today, folks, I can say I have overcome most obstacles health-wise. There's still life in me, and there's still more to learn and try to make my quality of life better. Just because it's taking more time doesn't mean it's not happening. The asparagus takes years to crown, but it's worth it to wait. A homesteading proverb. On days my body can't do the work, I let the garden do the work for me. The irises don't ask permission to bloom, and the ducks don't wait for me to feel perfectly well to enjoy the morning. They remind me that life keeps moving, and so will I. 2 Corinthians 12:9, King James Version. And he said unto me, My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glorify in my infirmities, that the power of Christ rest upon me. Sufficient grace when the synovial cyst flares and I literally don't feel like moving or doing morning chores. That being enough isn't measured by how many bags of feed I can move, but by the grace that carries me through the pain. During times I am forced to slow down, and still I can rely on the resourceful homestead we have built together to lighten the burdens of pain-driven days. Autoimmune struggles aren't just a hindrance. They are part of the fabric of our lives, the threads of our story. Be on the lookout for Friday's video. I'm making a farmhouse dress from a thrifted flatbed sheet. Talk about being frugal, and that really saved us money. In closing, the irises today show all their splendor, but I didn't plant them deep. Some of them I just set on the ground. The roots found their way into the fertile soil. And now they are blooming. The mushrooms showed up in the compost delivered for free last year. Mushrooms are a sign of healthy soil. Although we won't harvest the mushrooms, it's the little things like this that lets me know that I'm alive and well despite health issues. Some days my soil feels pretty rocky. That synovial cyst might keep me in my chair, and the lupus might keep me in the shade. But the work of the homestead and the work of the Lord doesn't stop. I've learned that a resourceful homestead isn't just about saving seeds or bartering for tree work. It's about being resourceful with your own energy and trusting that when your strength runs out, His grace is sitting right there waiting to take over. Friends, if you're hurting today, don't look at what you can't do. Look at the asparagus pushing through the dirt, or the mushrooms appearing. Life still is happening, and there is still a place for you in the garden. Thanks for joining me on the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. Until next time, keep being resourceful, keep learning, keep leaning on the sufficient grace. Be blessed and a blessing. Until we meet again. Beautiful asparagus. Wild mushrooms. Here's some content I think you might like. Thank you for visiting our homestead. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hype, and share to help our small channel grow. See you next time for more simple living, frugal tips, and farmyard fun.